phone is being weird. I recorded my phone and it just like half recorded me and then stopped, so I don't know what's going on. Hello! Welcome to the vlog. I thought I would update y'all. It's Friday. This will probably go up next week sometime, so get this party started. I have been doing very productive things today, including finishing some books. So last night I finished The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I like this. I'm definitely going to finish the duology, so I'm going to read the next one. I already have it. It's around here somewhere. It's over there, I think. So the hype on this, I totally see where it's coming from. For me, the characters were insanely bland. I felt like Oriah and Rain were just characters I have read and so many other things. Like, oh god, they were bland. They were what you think of when you think of like a romantasy. Rain was, I think it's pronounced Rain. He was really sweet. He wasn't like the edgelord type of like brooding hero. He was the sweeter version. But yeah, Oriah is exactly what you think. I liked it though, specifically because of Vincent, who I despised. And then the reveals and twists at the end went an interesting place, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Vincent, this is the strength of the book I like. The first like, I don't know, quarter to third, I was like, oh, I love Vincent. He's a cool dad. He's like not the dad you expect. And then at about the halfway mark, I was like, Vincent's a piece of trash. And I still think Vincent's a piece of trash. But I liked how Oriah is coming to terms with that, and how she is learning the truth, and how possibly maybe she'll see long term what Vincent was doing. And I don't want to spoil it, but like, Vincent, man, it's a good, that's good. It's worth reading. I'm going to continue reading just to see what else we learn about Vincent, if we learn anything. I hope we do, because otherwise the next book is going to be really So once I finished that, I read more Power Rangers. So I finished volume 2 yesterday, and like, I know not everybody's gonna care about Power Rangers, but I care about Power Rangers, so here we are. The Power Rangers comics, and this is from what my husband has told me and my very slim grasp of where we are, these are the original Rangers from the show that I watched when I was 5, and I was addicted to this show. I love this show so much. I still love this show a lot. This is like if you take the original show and it takes a step to the left, and then it's like an alternate timeline, right? So the events in the first volume kind of happen in the show, and then it goes a completely different direction in the comics, and we get some really crazy stuff. And then I read volume 3 today, and so basically the command center with Zordon and Alpha gets destroyed, their little robot friend. It gets destroyed. Rita redirects it, and then the Black Dragon shows up, and he does some gnarly stuff. Basically takes control of the morphers, takes their abilities. They can no longer morph at the end of, I think it's what, this one, towards the end of this one. That's the big conflict here, is they no longer have access to the morphing grid, so they can no longer turn it to the Rangers, and the Black Dragon and Rita Repulsa are going to take over the world. In fact, she has issued out this big thing to the cities of the world, I'm going to destroy you unless you pledge allegiance to me. And so the Rangers have to figure out a way to access the morphing grid, which they do with Tommy, who accesses the grid differently than they do. And then we get this amazing cover where we have 4 Green Rangers. Billy is trapped in an alternate dimension, and Tommy is basically allowing them to morph with his connection. And this is awesome. So in this volume, Billy and Tommy end up in an alternate timeline, and this ends on a bit of a cliffhanger with them. These keep ending on cliffhangers, and it's frustrating to me. Meanwhile, in our actual timeline, the rest of the Rangers are fighting the Black Dragon and Rita. And Rita has gotten, well, at this point, the Black Dragon, sorry, I take that back. They're fighting Rita. The Black Dragon has been banished, sort of. And Rita is gearing up a big assault with the Putty Men and all this stuff. So this is great, man. Still love Power Rangers. So there'll be more Power Rangers. I actually have the 3rd volume. My husband bought it for me on order, so that's coming in the mail in the next day or 2, which means you'll see more about the Power Rangers. But besides that, I am reading Mislaid in Parts Unknown, which is the newest Wayward Children book. I had really negative thoughts and opinions on the last one, so I'm hoping this one's better. This one, the portal world that our main character goes into, comes out of, is a dinosaur world, and y'all should know by now I love dinosaurs, so I'm very excited. Fingers crossed this one doesn't do me dirty like the last one did. And then after that, I am going to read Britney Spears' memoir. Actually, I bought it because it's been everywhere, and well, she's pretty fundamental to my like musical history. I'm a millennial, so I want to read that. And let's see what else. Anything else? I don't know. We'll see where we go from there. It's kind of up in the air at this point, but I'll keep y'all updated. Monday. I didn't do any updating that I can recall over the weekend. So one day we spent the entire day helping our best friend move into his new place. And after we had helped them, we got home like super late. I think it was like 6 or 7, which for us is late. That's late because my daughter's bedtime is 7:30. So no updates from Saturday and Sunday. I spent most of the day dreading and then going to visit a relative who is very sick. So like emotions were had. I did get a few clips. We had to go up to the mountain where my family's from. So I got clips that I've probably already put in of the view. It's very beautiful up there. I love it. So that was the chunk of yesterday. I did get some reading done. So I'll go ahead and tell you what I got done. So I have read up through volume 4 of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comics. These are fantastic. Underrated. Don't know of anyone else that I've seen on booktube reading these. If somebody is, I want to know because I love these and I want to hear more opinions. These are really good. I think I mentioned in another clip, perhaps the last one, these deviate from the show, and it's a darker, more adult sort of story and timeline to what happened in the show. So there's a lot of very interesting topics and events and things happen in this. I really recommend Power Rangers. If you like graphic novels, if you were like me, a kid who loved to watch this after school every day or before school, this is a great series. I loved it. I also read the Britney Spears memoir, The Woman in Me. I was never a big like Britney fan growing up, but I knew her music. Everybody knew her music. She was kind of, that was our pop icon, right? She was the singer at the time. So I've kind of low-key watched her throughout the years. You know, it's kind of, what's the word I want? Integral to my childhood, her music was. And I have always had the opinion she seems like a nice person. Maybe not the brightest in the bunch, and she's probably just been taken advantage of. I stand by that assessment. She seems like a nice person that's just been treated horribly. And this kind of just, the opinion stays. It broke my heart, her talking about losing her kids, and just, this was good. If you are a Britney fan or you have some interest in her, or like me, you know, she was important to your growing up, your childhood, and you want to know more about that, this was interesting. I read almost the entirety of this in a sitting. I think I read about 75% of this, 75% of this in a sitting, and I read the last little bit the next day. I think Saturday night I read it, and then Sunday before I left for Roan, I finished it, and you know, it was good. I do not regret the purchase. It will stay on the shelves because it's interesting. I also have started, so while we were helping the bestie move, I saw that they had Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko? I don't know how to pronounce that for sure. Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko. Close enough. Which is a big chunky collected edition of these mangas. It's just a slice of life about an android who is running a cafe on the shore in the declining years of humanity. And so far it is very cute, it's very sweet. I really like the artwork. It's very simple and it's weirdly hopeful. It's just really good. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of what I need with all of the like really rough stuff that is going on in the world right now. It's very, it helps somewhat to read something that's just nice and calm. And I am about halfway through Mislaid in Parts Unknown. Parts Half Known. This is the new Wayward Children's book. And I think I have just maybe fallen out of love with this series. The last book I really didn't like. It would have been a fine book if it wasn't for the first, like, what, 25 pages? It really upset me. And so this one follows Ancy, who is fine. I don't have any problem with Ancy. She's pretty cool. I like her abilities, but I give nary a shit about the plot and what's happening. I'm halfway through and I don't really care. My favorite characters were Jack and Jill, and I can't remember her name. She was the main character of the first book, and they're kind of out of the picture now. So I don't know. I was hoping we would get, I can't remember their names now, it's been so long, and like I said, I can't, this one doesn't seem to be keeping my interest. The little boy with the bone flute, his name just appeared and disappeared. And then the young man who went to Fairy and came back. I wanted their stories. I don't care about Ancy, and Sumi has had her story and I like seeing her, but she's not my favorite. I am logic based. I'm a logic based child. The nonsense children don't quite click for me. And finally, the book I'm going to read today and tomorrow, the next physical book I have is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, and we'll see how that goes. That's the one I'm carting around in my book sleeve right now. I should get my Book of the Month box today. It's supposed to be out for delivery. It's kind of why I keep looking. We're also waiting on our HelloFresh. We got our first HelloFresh shipment, or we're supposed to get it this week, and we're going to try it out. That's it. That's kind of the reads. Like I said, a lot of Power Rangers, because I really wish superheroes were real. And Britney Spears, which was sad. It's not, like I said, not something I'm super excited to talk about because it's kind of sad. A lot of sad. And then Slice of Life in a series I am sadly not wild about anymore. That's it. I will insert probably some clips if I don't update later with them, my Book of the Month picks. I am excited for those, and I'll let you guys know when I've read some more. I walked upstairs and it was here. So I also got a Amazon package, which is an indie book I was very excited about. So I will open both of these. Yes. So the indie is Sister Samurai by Tatiana Obey. I think maybe how you say that. I love this cover. I am very interested in her primary series that she has. I think the first one is Bones in the Wind or something like that. I'll put it up here. So this I will probably read today. I might take this to the gym with me tonight. So this will be read soon. And let's see, I'll get my Book of the Month out. I need scissors. Safety scissors. So my pick for the month was What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. It is a mummy-inspired romance? Fantasy romance? Look, if you tag something as The Mummy, there's like a 90% chance I'm going to watch and or read it. So that's really all I have to say on that, because that movie is a masterpiece and I will take no questions. And I also got How to Say Babylon by Sophia Sinclair. I think this is about the author was born up Rastafari, and it is her attempting to find her own voice and break away from that. And I just thought that sounded really fascinating. That is a culture that I don't know anything about, religion, I don't know anything about it, so I want to learn more, and I thought I would try with this. I couldn't be your sunshine. So it's been a week. You're drooping. Why are you drooping? There we go. Don't droop. Stop that. How's that? Is that better? Are you level? This is the problem with filming on my phone, is that I have to use this like grippy thing. It's attached to my ring light, my tripod. I kind of don't like it, but here we are. I'm not forking out a shit ton of money for a camera right now. It's been a week. To give you like an example of the type of week it's been, 2 days ago I got back from the gym, I got in the shower, and This is a combination of I was exhausted and I didn't have my contacts in, but I grabbed my body wash and washed my hair with it. I'm sure it's fine. It seems fine. I ain't got that much to worry about anyway. But that's how like tired and exhausted this week has left me. So I have gotten a lot of reading done. My intention for this week was to, not this week rather, but this next month, these next 2 months, was to catch up on NetGalley. There's no way that I'm going to catch up on all of my books I'm behind on. I'm a little bit behind on my NetGalley arcs. I love NetGalley a little too much, but I get behind. So I thought I would focus in these, especially this month and next month, on catching up on some, especially the older ones. I don't want to go into 2024 with arcs from the beginning of 2023 on there. So I'm trying to read those. Unfortunately, there was a reason past me didn't finish these arcs when I initially got them. I will get an arc, I will read a couple chapters. If it really grabs me and the release date is relatively soon, I'll finish it. If not, I'll wait and I'll kind of plan on doing it later. But some of these I just put down. I'm like, you know what? I'm not in the mood right now. And then I don't think about it. And then its release comes and goes and I'm still not thinking about it. And then it's, now. So I'll tell you about the two past due ones because boy, I really didn't like either of these. So the oldest one was The Daughters of Izdahar, and that is by Hadir. I think her name is Hadir Elsba, and this is pitched as an epic adult fantasy based on Egyptian history. This is a YA book. This is a YA fantasy, and while there's nothing wrong with YA fantasy, it's not what I wanted. It's very YA. This is two point of view characters. We have Nahal and Georgina, I think is how you would say her name. Nahal is stuck in an arranged marriage when what she really wants to do is go to this school that trains weavers. They're basically benders, like Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's what these people are, but all the elements. Nahal is a water weaver. She wants to train and go to the army. Georgiana is a young girl in a group called the Daughters of Izdahar. She is from a much lower class than Nahal, and she is a earth weaver who has no control over her abilities. But the Daughters of Izdahar, the group she is part of, is campaigning and protesting for women's right to vote, to join the military and stuff without a parental or guardian approval, because at this time even your husband has to approve if you want to do things like go to the water weaving or the weaving academy or join the army. And the two of them end up on either side of Nico, who is the man that Nahal is married to, but Georgiana is deeply in love with, and he loves her. So there's this messy triangle between the three, kind of. And meanwhile, Nahal is also catching feels for the leader of the Daughters of Izdahar. And the two end up in the group together. What can I say about this? It was bland like porridge. I really liked the setting and I liked the bits of culture that we got. It was unique, it was different, it was warm, but it was very overshadowed by either Georgiana's depresso espresso. She was just always melancholy and sad. I mean, good reason. Girls got it rough, but like she was sad. Or it was outstaged by Nahal and her like, I'm just gonna talk back to everybody. I'm gonna be fiery. I'm gonna be the one that's like solving the problems. The only reason that Nahal isn't a fire weaver, I think, was because it was too on the nose. She is the character that's sassy and talks back. And that type. That's in every way fantasy. It's Nahal. So I didn't like it. The pacing and the writing style is what really landed it into the YA category. It was very simply written. The pacing was such that you could see the twists coming, what little ones there were. And the characters themselves acted very young. And you can be young in an adult fantasy and still be an adult fantasy, but this was just... It didn't work. Same for Forged by Blood. Forged by Blood was by Ikbar Okosin. This one was worse for me personally. I really hated the main character. the main character, I don't even remember her name because she had no personality besides rage. And the book started off really promising. It started off really promising, and I was really into the first like chapter. And then it was like I was reading a different book. There was a big time jump forward, and I was like, "What YA horrible book did I step in?" I'm sorry, it was bad. It just, she had no personality, right? She is bent on revenge, and that's all she is. She's a badass revenge beast. And like, I get it, girl, get it, but I want more personality. I want a little more depth. I want more thought process. She is caught in a love triangle again. The love triangles. This one with the soft and sweet guy, but who might have betrayed her in the past, and that is why she is only angry, only ever angry, always angry, has no personality. And her childhood best friend, who's kind of a dick, but you know, she keeps leading him on because she can and she wants to. That's it. That's it. They have to go on a journey to protect said original love interest, the one that might have betrayed her. And there's magic. She's the chosen one from the spirits, and um, she spent the whole book being angry. Also, can we talk about the fact that if you're gonna have a fated mates, soulmates situation, I don't want to hear the word mate unless you're like a shifter. Unless you're like Nalini Singh's like shifter side changeling series, that's fine because those people have animalistic attributes. They literally turn into animals. Then it works. I can handle the use of the word mate. I mean, I still don't love it, but you know, it's acceptable. But in this one, they have just straight mates. They were mates. They're not called fated mates. They're just called mates, and it is the magical people of this world all have mates out in the world. And just every time they dropped the word mate, I had to take a deep breath. And it happened a lot. I just I no, didn't care for that one either. So those two were big misses. Didn't like them. Didn't enjoy them. Don't recommend them. Again, if I had been subscribed to Fairy Loot, and Forged by Blood, I believe, was a recent Fairy Loot book, if it had come and I tried to read it, I would have been absolutely livid because that is not an adult fantasy. It is a YA fantasy. Some people online were saying it almost reads middle grade, and I would say it does read like a high level middle grade to young adult fantasy. Neither was Daughters of Istar. I'm saying, I think these are from the same publisher. I'm looking at you. I'm not going to name names, but don't pitch YA as adult. It's just, it's obvious. So off my little like angry soapbox, because dang. The one book that I did finish in the past 2 weeks that is also a little behind on ARC. It came out this month, so I'm not super behind, but I do recommend is Spirit of the Wood by Kristen Britton. This is the author of the Green Rider series that's been going on since I think 98. I believe that's what she said in her acknowledgments, 98. And this is a novella. This is a great place to step into the world or return to the world. I haven't read Green Rider in over 10 years, so I don't remember any of the characters. By the time I got to the end of this, I had fallen in love with both of the main characters in this for different ways, and then I was reminded that one of the characters is actually one of the characters in Green Rider, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. So kudos to Kristen Britton for making me fall in love with a character I hadn't read about in like 10 years. This is about Tavin and Laren. Tavin ends up having to take care of Laren, who is his mentor. He is a green rider. He is a newbie. They stop an attack on the road, and in the process, Laren is hurt quite badly, and Tavin has to protect her and take care of her. They end up in a safe house in the Greenswold. I can't remember the exact name of the forest, in this deep forest, and it's about him discovering his unique ability. All Green Riders have unique abilities, magic powers, if you will, and him discovering how he's actually had it his whole life, but being a rider has augmented it and made it stronger, and how that can help Laren and why it's important that he help Laren. It was really good. It was really good, and I think it did a really good job of things like exploring the idea of empathy, how helping someone has big ramifications, and how even after a traumatic, a horrible event, life continues to flourish. You know, life will go on, life keeps moving forward. That's something that I have to remind myself a lot, and this book really did a good job of exploring that idea gently and not heavy-handedly. And I liked that. Keep in mind, this is a little brutal. Some of the things that happened to Lara in her past are truly horrific. There's some gore, there is war, there is loss of a loved one, there is intense grief, there is suicidal thoughts. So just be wary. It's a novella, it's short, and it deals with heavy things, but I thought it was beautiful and I really liked it. And the last arc I read this week, I was working hard on my NetGalley this week, was Misladen Parts Half Known. I think I was reading this, or I talked about this in my last update, so I'm not gonna go too into it, but I think I'm done with the Wayward Children books. The last book, I really didn't like. I really disliked it greatly, and this book is a direct sequel to that. It's following Ancy and her return to the Nexus, and I feel like at this point all we're doing is circling around side characters while our main cast from the first few books who are left are just playing at helping. Like they're I don't know when they're getting resolutions unless the next books clearly state that they're about Cade, Christopher, or Sumi. I'm not picking them up. I'm done after this. I'm done after this one. It was fine. The cover has dinosaurs on it, so they do go to Stephanie's world. Stephanie is a girl we met in the last book, 2 books, and I wanted more of that world, but we only got a few pages there. I told my husband if the Wayward Children books were a single book, this 2-book segment, this book and the last one, should have been a chapter at most, 3 or 4 paragraphs at an adequate level, but instead we have 2 books. 2 solid novellas in this series dedicated to this, and it just, was it worth it for me? No, it wasn't. That's it. I did read one manga, Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko, I think. It was fantastic. If you want more of my manga thoughts, they're always in my manga monthlies, but this is a lovely slice of life relaxing read, and I super recommend it. But that's it for this week. I'm gonna go upstairs, get some lunch, and then edit this vlog and get it posted for y'all, and I will see you next week for next week's vlog, and then there will be a week mid-month wrap up about, I think, the week after that, so maybe more thoughts there. We'll see. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know down below what you thought. If you've read any of these, what are your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.